Do you think the fashion that you almost rolled into this semi-final almost hampered you a little bit? The ease that you maybe rolled into it with?
Yeah, you look at Northampton though, they're probably come off the back of two pretty big wins as well in the knockout game. So, as we know, we talked about it during the course of the last couple of weeks. So, we know Northampton are a very dangerous team, and they showed that at lots of different stages during the course of the game. So, we're trying to impose our game on them, but we're not quite accurate enough for whatever reason, and that's the beauty and the pain of sport sometimes, isn't it? So I thought the Northampton very effective in terms of how they sucker punched us a few different times, hit us on the counter and scored some breakaway tries, and they created some good different moments of attack as well. I think from one of the line-out plays they brought us around the corner, then back, and then hit us again on the open side. So they constructed some good phase of play, and then they just dug in when they needed to, and unfortunately we weren't quite accurate enough then at the end of the game. So but yeah, it's one of those games, listen, it's gonna sting for a long time. So we're just a little bit off for whatever reason. Is that because obviously we've come through, as you say, 2 knockout games quite comfortably, but listen, we should still be better than we were today.
Yeah, because momentum counts for a lot, doesn't it? Especially coming into these big games, and they did have a bit of momentum rolling behind them. And there was a loss last week. I know that it was wholesale changes for Leinster, but do you reckon that could have had an effect as well?
No, but it's something like we've done before as well. So even if you think in the lead into the last 16, listen, a lot of guys wouldn't have played. They come together back up to Six Nations. So, and it's something that guys are pretty well used to as well at this stage. We had a lot of guys played here against Ulster a couple of weeks ago. So, listen, I don't want to make any excuses really. Listen, we weren't good enough. Thompson came with a very good plan. They executed well, and they caused us a lot of problems. And unfortunately, then when we fall behind, we just get a little bit too jittery in terms of how we chase the game. So we're just not quite accurate enough. And then even at the end, listen, we have our opportunities to win the game, and we don't execute. So listen, we've nobody to blame but ourselves. So which is painful to say out loud. But listen, we return attention now. We've still plenty to play for in this season. Like at every club at this stage of the season, you want to be able to send off guys that are going to be leaving in the right manner, ideally with a trophy. So we've had this thing about juggling 2 trophies for the last couple of seasons, but nothing. Now we're singular focus back to the URC, and unfortunately that's what we've got to focus on. We'd love to say we're getting ready for a Champions Cup final in Cardiff, and that's the dream always at the start of the season. We set ourselves out on these journeys, and we all picture ourselves there in whatever that final destination is, which was Cardiff. And listen, it's a venue that we've had some good experiences in over the years, but unfortunately we're not going to be there this year, and we just need to be able to lick our wounds and, as I said, recover quick and turn our attention to the next challenge.
Talking of taking opportunities, what do you think about that last decision right in the corner? Have you had enough of a look back at it to make a call on that?
There's always some of those 50-50 decisions when you look back and you don't get the desired outcome. But it's not, I admire the players, the bravery there. It's all in, and unfortunately it didn't pay off. But listen, it's one of those decisions that you make. I really admired the decision, go for the corner, and it was there for us. We had our chances. Could have been at a try in the corner, possibly. That's how close it is. So. But again, credit to Northampton, they found a way to hold us out there at the end.
You do look at that decision from the ref and you think a yellow card, but then to not give the try, and you're sort of looking at it, questioning it a little bit.
That's at the end. Yes, again, I need to look at it in a bit more detail. So listen, you've probably looked at it a lot more than I have so far. So, there's decisions. Unfortunately, that's part and parcel of the game.
There's pressure on now a little bit because obviously that's the 4th. Champions Cup in succession now, not getting anything out of it. I suppose your focus goes back to the URC, but does the pressure build a little bit because of that?
I think there's always pressure in these roles here. Anyway, here there is. Listen, every year we try to focus on getting the group stronger and stronger. And I think we've got a great group. I think there's a great group of players there. There's a great support staff as well, coaches, backroom team. It's painful when you come up short, but we will build, and listen, we'll go again. I said it's singular focus now, which is back to the URC.
Thanks for talking to us, and hard luck.
Yep, thank you.